Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning into our new show, Midnight Double Feature Presents Bad Crystal, a Breaking Bad podcast. This is just Zoheb breaking in here to clear something up before we kick off our inaugural episode of Bad Crystal. So, this episode was recorded a while back, and in it, we make a reference to the fact that Bad Crystal is a Patreon exclusive available only to paying members. This is not true. Bad Crystal is a free podcast available to all. Our initial plans changed following the recording of this particular episode. So that's it. Bad Crystal, free for everybody, forever. But while I'm here, maybe now's a good time to let you know that if you want more content from Midnight Double Feature and Bad Crystal, and if you're a fan of ours, head on over to our Patreon page where you can join The Green Room, which is our members-only club. There, you'll get exclusive access to bonus episodes, spin-off podcasts, commentary tracks, and so much more. To join The Green Room, head to patreon.com/Midnight Double Feature. And now, presenting for the first time ever, Bad Crystal, a Breaking Bad podcast. Midnight Double Feature presents Bad Crystal, a Breaking Bad podcast. On this episode, we introduce you to Bad Crystal and bring you Season 1, Episode 1, Pilot. Written and directed by Vince Gilligan. Feature presents Bad Crystal. Colin, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Doing strong on the second try of this episode. No, I'm just kidding. I like a fat kid in a three-legged race. I tripped 30 seconds into it and just died. No, I'm super pumped to be talking about this. It's strange talking about stuff that's not a movie because I've never talked about like television on a podcast before. I'm not a big TV watcher. I'm predominantly a movie watcher, so it's kind of interesting following a 50-hour movie now. So this is going to be different and challenging, but also fun.
This is going to be different. This will be challenging, and this will be fun. Let's talk briefly about the setup for this show, what our expectations are, and what the audience can expect. So this is, like we said, a Patreon exclusive. This is going to be our introductory Patreon sort of exclusive bonus content, right?
Yeah,
this
hell
will be
yeah.
our first thing out, yeah. So, I mean, like, we're going to try and make this super cheap because, I know that there's a lot of Breaking Bad fans out there, and hopefully there'd be a few people who'd want to listen to us rant about Breaking Bad. I just want to say right off the top of the show, I consider myself so very lucky to have a co-host who is open to my weird ideas about like, hey, Colin, I know you've never seen Breaking Bad before, and I've seen Breaking Bad. This is going to be my fourth time through.
Damn.
So let's create a show around that. I'm just so lucky to have a co-host like that.
Well, yeah, and I think it's honestly kind of hard to watch somebody who doesn't have, or find somebody who doesn't have some information about this like show. I mean, I have limited information because I was dating somebody who was like watching this religiously, and I do know certain like key elements, but it's very different. It's like, yeah, well, I watched the movie, yeah, but you didn't read the book. It's very different, like when you actually get in there and really get like the details of stuff, so it's going to be an interesting dynamic. I think that's going to be the fun part about this show. It's just the shit that and I'm going to be like, please. And you're like, no, absolutely not. Like last night I'm watching the first episode. Zoheb messaged me. He's like, and no fucking cheating. Do not watch ahead. You will ruin everything. Like, do not fucking watch ahead.
I literally did, dude. I was like, please don't ruin the Breaking Bad for you, and please don't ruin our new fucking podcast.
Right.
Please don't do that,
Dude. I literally, as soon as the first episode was done, I was like, oh, wait, and I had to like turn it off in the first 30 seconds. Like, oh shit.
Yeah, no, it's a bit like that. But look, man, let's just lay out kind of what you know, because with our main podcast, Midnight Double Feature, like we don't really care about spoilers. We kind of just assume that everyone's seen the movie, and we just like let rip with the spoilers. But the way, I think what the good thing is about this show is that I've seen all of it. So, for veterans of Breaking Bad who have seen the show once or twice or however many times, I'm hoping to be able to offer some kind of insight that they might not have seen before, from the perspective of someone who's seen the show. And then you've never seen Breaking Bad all the way through. You've never seen, like, you do know some things that you're about to reveal right now on the podcast, but we're going to be like going as like one by one. So you've never seen episode 2, you've never seen episode 3. We're like, as we're recording this, you've only seen episode 1. And we're going to be treating the audience like that. So, like if someone else has never seen Breaking Bad, they can like listen to the episodes as it goes, with me not spoiling it for you as well, Collin, and for the listener. So, we're hoping to make it accessible for both kinds of audiences like that. So tell me, what do you know? Like, this episode's going to be a bit special because you're about to tell us some spoilers that some of the audience might not want to know. So if you guys who've never seen Breaking Bad and are here just episodically to listen to us after you watch an episode or what have you, then maybe just skip for the next 30 seconds.
I would say I'll try and keep it vague because I know
right.
I know the ending. That I do know. I know what happens at the end. Which is kind of, again, it could be kind of a bummer, but I want to know how we got there. I do know not every major death, but I do know most of them. Again, trying to keep it vague. If you think, does he know that? I probably do know that one. I know a lot about Gus when he comes up later on. I know about him. I know just from cultural osmosis, just a lot of stuff. Nobody sat me down. I was like, and then this happened. Blah 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 blah. I know it just happened to be those certain times when I was a little bit more aware of the show, or it was on around me, that like some crazy shit was going on. Other than that though, like I don't know. I know where he starts as Walter White, but I don't know exactly the path that ends him up to a Heisenberg. That's my thing. Is like, what is the transition from this mustache glassed, goofy looking guy to the guy in the fucking desert with the hat, like, say my name? It's like, what is the transition there? I think that's going to be the interesting part. Is it's not the destination, it's the journey. So what exactly led to this, and what exactly led to him becoming, not Walter White anymore, but Heisenberg? And yeah, it's just like any good movie. It's like watching Joaquin Phoenix turn into Joker. And it's like, well, we all know at the end of this movie, you're going to be the Joker. But it's like, but I want to see exactly how your path kind of led to that. Not extremely similar, but similar in the downward spiral, basically. But trying to keep that as vague as fuck. I know certain things. I don't know other things. If it's a major detail, if it's a death or something like that, I probably do know it. But it's still, I don't know when it's going to happen. That's the thing. Like, so it could pop up at any moment and be like, oh shit, like right now, like this is what's going to happen. Other than that though, I'm super excited because I love Bryan Cranston. I mean, I'm just going to segue right into Bryan Cranston because he was Tim Whatley on Seinfeld for me. And then he was Hal from Malcolm in the Middle. Like he was not, I was like,
right, the dentist, right?
Yeah. And then he's in like, he plays Buzz Aldrin in That Thing You Do. It's like a 5-second part, but that's who he was to me. He was like a bit player growing up. Like he was not a lead in a lot of stuff. And then once I saw him in this, I was like, dude, good for him. I always liked Bryan Cranston. I liked him in Malcolm in the Middle. He was really, really great in that. And I think that I feel like career wise, like Bryan Cranston envies no man. Like his career has just been amazing. He is 60 fucking 5 years old. And I was like, that is insane. I cannot believe Bryan Cranston's 60. Like, and I started thinking about it. I was like, well, yeah, Seinfeld. I mean, he's probably 30 or 40 in Seinfeld, and that was in the 90s, So it makes sense, and it's awesome to see. I don't know. I really love Bryan Cranston in this role from what I've seen so far. And I think who else? Who else could have played this guy? And it's
I'll tell
culturally
you who
iconic.
else.
Oh, right, go for it.
I'll tell you who else was actually considered for this role. Like, seeing as we're on, I was going to leave this for the end of the episode, but fuck it, I got some trivia. So AMC actually approached, right? Get ready for this. Hold on to your hat. Matthew Broderick for the lead role, and John Cusack to play Walter White, and they both turned it down.
Just let that sink in at home. By the way,
that sink in, dude.
I saw John Cusack at a convention in Louisville, Kentucky last year. Yeah, he needed this role. By the way, he does not. I'm going to straight up throw some shade at John Cusack. He was kind of a dick, and not. He
strikes me a little bit as that way. Yeah,
dude, he did not look good. Honestly, like he looked like he looked kind of sick. I was like, oh no, that kind of worries me. But yeah, I mean, fucking Ferris Bueller, like that's not believable, And the thing is, like, none of them.
But neither is Hal.
I disagree. I would say that Bryan Cranston, it's insane watching him be Hal, from Malcolm in the Middle, and be this insanely positive dad, this like really nice guy, to then turn around and flip the tables like that. But it's a believable kind of darkness that comes out of him that I actually really enjoy. I couldn't see that out of Matthew, maybe John Cusack, but not Matthew Broderick. I think John
say it out of Matthew Broderick. No way.
Yeah, like John Cusack's done some, like 1408. He's kind of moody, and he's kind of got some shit going on. But they're both like 80s romance heartthrob kind of shit, So no, I think that this was a perfect choice in terms of depth, but also taking someone who is so beloved and then trying to turn them into someone who's kind of a monster by the end. That's going to be an interesting trip, and I'm glad we're both here for it.
Right? No, exactly. I mean, I want to just briefly mention as well, right at the top here, the creator of the show, Vince Gilligan, originally always wanted Bryan Cranston for the role after he worked with Cranston in season 6 episode of X-Files titled Drive. So originally, Vince Gilligan directed the episode Drive, and that episode starred Bryan Cranston, and he just kind of they just kind of fell in love with each other. So
nice.
Honestly, in my opinion, after this show, it's a match made in heaven. Like, the only other one that I would really consider is Vince Gilligan and Bob Odenkirk after seeing Better Call Saul.
Yeah.
Both of these shows, by the way, are very neck and neck. Like, I can't decide which one's better. Better Call Saul is still airing. Its final season is premiering next year, which I'm really excited for. But yeah, man, like this. Let's talk a little about again, like what this podcast is going to be. So we expect these episodes to be about an hour to an hour and a half, somewhere around there. Definitely nowhere near as long as our feature presentation episodes on Midnight Double Feature. Seeing as, each Breaking Bad episode is about 40 to 45 minutes. This episode is an hour, so, naturally we'll be going for a little bit longer. Plus, we also have to introduce the Patreon. Collin, like you said, like Colin's never seen it, which is, again, really going to be interesting. But I do like the other times that I saw this. The first time I saw this, I had no idea where this was going, obviously, because I was watching this as it was airing live. But, the second and third time that I saw it, I knew what was going to happen at the end. And, by then I was kind of watching the transformation of each character. I was kind of watching the arcs and how they got there. And it's just so interesting and intriguing, the amount of depth that Vince Gilligan and his writers are able to instill in each character. I just really briefly want to mention a famous line that Vince Gilligan has said, and he's like, "I just wanted to take Mr. Chips and turn him into Scarface."
Yeah, and I read that.
That was like the kind of like line for this show, But yeah, man, that's Bad Crystal. I can't believe we're doing Bad Crystal. I can't believe we're here.
Yeah, so and it's awesome because, guys, if you're listening to this, most likely you've signed up for the Patreon. If you haven't, please stop by and check us out. If you're listening to this in your friend's car, being a fucking pirate, stealing the shit, hey, that's cool, man. Exposure's exposure. But it's been a long time coming, and it's been a ball that has been slowly rolling, and now has gained so much momentum, and we have so much shit in the pipeline right now that I feel like we're bursting at the fucking seams, to be honest. It's like, holy shit. There's a lot of stuff like going on right now kind of behind the scenes. We can get into that if we want, but I like to keep them in suspense. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be great. It's going to be the greatest Patreon of all time. But no, and I'm super excited to get into this. I've never done a single episode of television on a podcast before. I've been on.
Right, we did Watchmen, right?
Right, yeah. Other than that, like we might do a whole roundtable discussion, but we never go like season episode by episode. And like I've been on the Pop List with Floyd Fry. I've been a guest on Lost Drive-In, LSG, both fantastic podcasts, both fantastic people. We've done our show, yeah. we've done all of these. I mean, you were on what is the water cooler podcast just recently?
Yeah, I've been on a few podcasts lately. By the time this episode releases on our Patreon, this is going to be ancient history. But yeah, I've been on a few podcasts, and honestly, like they all, like we support them. Like I kind of like that I kind of like this community of podcasts that's grown, and like we've all kind of like networked and we all support each other, and From our idols like Hey Do You Remember and LSG Media who like to talk us up, I thank you so much.
Yeah.
Like honestly, like in the last 2 years and change, however long it's been since we started Midnight Double Feature, it's just been absolutely crazy. So, like the decision to start the Patreon has been in the back of our minds for quite a while. But we, I guess it took a worldwide pandemic for us to actually start it.
It took race riots and pandemics and no, yeah, and it's been awesome because out of all those, I mean, out of all those podcasts we've been guests on and 170 episodes of Midnight Double Feature, that I've never actually sat down and talked about an episode of television. So it's going to be a different format, and it's going to be challenging, but also it's going to, and I'm sure there's times where I'm going to be like frustrated because I want to watch ahead and I want to take notes, but it's actually frustrating me because I'm trying to think of the right word. I get like obsessive compulsive about stuff. Like I get like balls deep into shit. Like, and I start reading about it and absorbing all the information that I can. And I realize I kind of can't do this on Breaking Bad, even though now this will be a huge part of my life for the next, 60, 70 episodes. It's going to be hard not to do like a full blown deep dive like into it, because that is the person I am. It's a knee jerk reaction to like, oh, I want to read about the assassination of Lincoln, and I just get like obsessed with it for like 2 weeks, and then I'm done.
It's funny because I can do the deep dive. Like I'm the one who I'm preparing like the actual kind of like notes for this. Like all 62 episodes, I'm going to be preparing the notes and like prompting you, like asking questions, blah blah blah, leading you towards the right way, or whatever. Or misguiding you, like however the fuck I wanted. It's going to be fun that way. But like at the same time, I'm also going to be frustrated at points too, because I'm going to want to be able to tell you shit, but I can't. Like, I'm going to want to be able to lead you places that will, that you're probably not going to be able to get without a nudge, and I won't give you those nudges because I don't want to be a dick.
Sure,
like,
sure.
I don't want to spoil this for you. But I'm pretty good at like internalizing spoilers. Like, like if we on most of our upcoming attractions episodes, Matt and I decide pretty much just before the episode whether the reviews we talk about are going to be spoiler or not. And Matt takes like a few minutes to kind of like compose himself to like not release the spoilers naturally, and I'm just like, all right, well, cool, I got this, So I think I'll be all right. Like I think I'll be pretty good. Like let's see how we go over the next, I guess, 62 episodes.
Yeah, let's do it, man.
And before we do jump in, guys, thank you so much for signing up. Like I just like I don't know if we actually said thanks for giving us your money.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for trusting us.
I assumed they were looting
it.
this episode from their friends, and they're like, you get it first and I'll see about it.
Right. Well, I mean, like, this is the only episode that's going to be available for free on Midnight Double Features, so you know what? Just whatever.
Yeah.
Just whatever.
Midnight Double Feature Patreon / buyer's remorse. No, I'm just kidding.
Right. There you go. There you go. But if you are interested in signing up to Patreon, our URL is going to be patreon.com/ Midnight Double Feature, and that's it. You can just
pretty simple
sign up there. Pretty simple. All right, let's get into this bitch. Opening scene, dude, with the khakis flying down from the sky and the RV, like just careening uncontrollably, driven by a pasty white guy wearing only a gas mask and tidy whities. Dude, if you were watching this in 2008, what the fuck would have been going in your mind? Like,
Yeah, well, it's when you see it's got everything, you know? It's like, well, going in, like, I think most people know the premise even on the pilot, you know? Like, they can see it's a high school teacher who's diagnosed and is selling methamphetamine. So there is an element to that where you're like, okay, so I know that this can get kind of weird. But as I'm watching, I'm like, dude, the thing is not the RV in the desert. It's not the dead bodies in the back. It's the guy with a gas mask on next to an
yes.
almost naked man. And you're like, what the fuck is going on? Like, is this some weird, like sex slavery in the desert type shit? Like, what the fuck is going on? That like, and the pants flying through the air is just like an amazing visual to start with, because you're kind of like, huh? Like the first time you see it, you're like, what the fuck?
So Gilligan, like, and this won't be the only time this happens throughout the show. Gilligan has this real eye for like dropping you into a scene where you have no context at all. You're not being told like what's happening. You're kind of like having to piece it together. This, I mean, especially happens with a couple of characters later on. There's a character especially that I want to talk about when we get to like one of the later seasons that where it happens to him constantly, and it's just always just amazing. But anyway, immediately when I saw this dude back in the day, by the way, I didn't start with the pilot. I came in around when season 3 was airing. So I was following it week to week from season 3. And this stuff, like season 1 and 2, I just binged. And again, man, like immediately I kind of like knew I was in for something different. Like just from this, like the pants just falling from the sky, and then just the frantic driving, you know, the recording himself on the camera, like the suicide kind of like whatever tape.
That's deep.
Right?
That's dark.
Right. My name is Walter Hartwell White. You know, I live at whatever Negro Royal Lane. Like, you know, like just insane, right?
Have you heard about the people that actually live in that house, and they're like, we can't live there anymore? Like, people have been terrorizing us for like fucking years now.
Dude, that house is so fucking famous now, man. Seriously.
Yeah, for real.
I'll tell you what though, something that I really, really like about the show, in the opening scenes, they never try and make Walt look like a chiseled like hero or lead.
No.
Like, you know, like he's pudgy and sweaty, like immediately, like he's just unattractive to look at.
He's
like,
a fucking dork, man. He's a dork.
Yeah.
Like, he is so, you know, if you cut him off in the line at the grocery store, he might say something if he's had a bad day, but he would probably just let that shit slide. And I'm not gonna lie, I mean, I would too, because it's not, you know, pick your battles. But he is a pushover. He is like certainly a pushover. And that's like by the end of this episode, that's why I think they made, in just one episode, an amazing transformation for Walter White. And I was like, this is really good. Immediately, I was like, this is insane how full blown that turnaround has been, you know?
Well, season 1 gets a lot of flack for like being slow and not much happens. But dude, as I'm watching this pilot, so much happens in the pilot alone. Like, so much. There's just so much happening. Like, you'll be introduced to so many people. You're introduced to the cancer. You're introduced to the meth. You're introduced to Jesse. You're introduced to their like whole relationship. There's actually, like, we'll go through it, but there's just so much here. And this is already like a half an hour podcast. So here we go.
Yeah. Let's do it.
I just want to shout out John Toll, who was one of 3 cinematographers, and he only served as cinematographer for the first episode. He never came back. I don't know why. Don't know why that is. Yeah, but like you can't really tell, like with the different visual styles, like throughout the series, like it just seems very like it seems like one vision, and it seems like Vince Gilligan's one simple-minded vision.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, basically the entire episode is one long flashback, bookended by the RV sequences, and we learn that he's a chemistry teacher. Nobody pays attention to him, right? His students are fucking walking right over him. He's got to work a lousy second job to support his pregnant wife and disabled kid. We meet Skylar, played by Anna Gunn, and Walter Jr., played by RJ Mitty. Just real quick initial impressions. What do you think of Anna Gunn and RJ Mitty?
Anna Gunn, I remember her. She was in Seinfeld for an episode. She was one of Jerry's girlfriends. I thought
I saw her. Yeah, she's also in Deadwood.
Oh, okay. You know, I've never seen that. Yeah, and I liked her like right off the rip. I mean, she's kind of, I don't know. You kind of get the sense of like they bill her almost as somewhat of like a naggy fishwife like kind of thing. You know, it's just kind of this like, don't you come home till, you know, the wagging finger constantly. They kind of, but I think that's important also for Walter, who I mean, she is the alpha. Like he is not the one to like take charge in a situation, I feel like, and go in and, you know, blah, blah, blah. it definitely seems like she's the one who would call the manager, if not over no problem. Like if there were a problem,
She's a
Walter,
Karen.
right. Well, kind of. But I feel like if they were at a restaurant and they got Walter's food wrong, Walter would be like, it's fine. I'll just eat it. It's not a big deal. And she'd be like, no, we need to speak to someone. I kind of feel like Walter at some points too, where I'm like, it's not a big deal. Just let it go. I'm very much that kind of person. Like, I don't want to cause a fuss. I'm not making somebody come over here. Like, I'm not that kind of person, I literally I can't tell you how many times somebody's brought me the wrong food at a restaurant and they come out with my right food like 15 minutes later and they'll be like, is that what you ordered? I'm like, no. They're like, why did you eat it? I was like, honestly, I don't care. I was like, you can have that burger though. You can eat it, man. Go for it. I was like, I don't care. I'm just not that kind of person. So I think there's something interesting about where she's a little bit more domineering and, she's like, oh, you need to, oh, here's your veggie bacon and I'll make sure you do this and make sure you do that. And like, I feel like that shit's going to come to a head though. I really do. If I had to guess, I feel like there's going to be a point where like he pulls a fucking Karen from Goodfellas and he's sitting on her lap with a gun. Like, shut the fuck up. I could definitely see that shit
reverse Karen.
Right. I could definitely see that shit happening.
All right.
Oh, and sorry, what's the actor's
RJ Mitty.
RJ Mitty. Is he actually disabled?
He is. He does have cerebral palsy. Not to the extent of Walter Jr. Like I'm pretty sure he doesn't walk around on the crutches, but he's definitely got the speech impediment.
Okay, and that's awesome, man. I'm glad they actually like watching this. I'm always happy to see where they actually get an actor who has faced those challenges to actually come up and do it. I don't mind watching, Leonardo DiCaprio and Watsini Gilbert. Great, it's kind of hard to get it. I understand why they get actors to do it because it's hard to train a real autistic person to be an actor. I imagine that would almost be impossible. That would be so difficult. But it's great the fact that they actually got someone who. How are you going to play someone who suffers from this day to day unless you've experienced it? You'd have to do some Daniel Day-Lewis shit, and fucking like live that. But I think he's great, and I think he's I know he becomes a lot more important like later on. But I like it. I like the fact that it's not a cookie cutter Brady Bunch family. It's like, no, I'm a chemistry teacher with a second job, a pregnant wife, and a disabled son. It's like, cool. That feels like fucking life. Like that really does.
Yeah,
that feels like fucking life, man.
It does. It 100% does. Like his life seems like miserable, dude. Like he's got, the high school jackass, the students not respecting him.
Oh yeah.
His brother-in-law thinks he's a big old puss, right? We'll get to Hank in a second. The wife who doesn't pay attention during birthday sex, right? Like it comes off as more of an obligation to her.
Yes.
Like it just seems so like, what the? Like I remember the first time I saw this dude, I'm like, is he getting a hand job? Is that what's happening right now?
It's like everybody just walks all over this dude.
Right, the emasculation, right? Like the only time we actually see him be actually excited and passionate about something is when he's giving the chemistry lecture.
Yeah.
Like that is the first time we see him like alive, dude. Like, he says the line of the show, and it's amazing that it's in the pilot. He says, I prefer to see chemistry as a study of change. That's all of life, right? It's the constant. It's the cycle. It's solution, dissolution, just over and over. It is growth, then decay, then transformation. And it's basically a microcosm for the show, right?
Yeah. My question is now, and he didn't win the Nobel Prize, but he contributed to the science that won the Nobel Prize, correct?
Yeah.
In 85?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, he's got an award in his house that shows it, yeah.
Wow, that's awesome, dude. That's really cool. I like the fact that it wasn't like, oh, he's a Nobel Prize winner and a genius on top of his class, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, here's a small little thing that shows you he is a talented guy with a shitty job.
He's fucking clever, right? Walt's super interested in the meth lab bust, right? Like, how much money is that? Like, they're all crowding around looking at the television, and we meet Hank, played by Dean Norris. Just going to put it right out here, dude. Dean Norris is my MVP for the entire show.
Yeah, I love that they actually got the Thing from Fantastic Four before he turns into the Thing to play.
It's Michael Chiklis.
Yeah, exactly. No, I dig him. He's a fucking cheese ball. It's like, dude, we all know guys like this, and they're way too.
They were jocks, right?
Right. Well, yeah, and they're way too like, they go to like the fake punch to the stomach. I'm just kidding with you, and they slap you too hard on the back when they shake your hand, and they get your hand in a handshake, and then they get you by the elbow and pull you in and talk into your ear. I'm like, dude, you need to back the fuck up, Hank. I can't stand that shit. But dude, this guy's a fucking powerhouse, though, man. He's a big dude. He's stout.
A big dude.
He's like a bulldog. Yeah, but I actually
100%.
He's so natural, because I think I might be talking out of term here, but like, was he actually in law enforcement? I can't remember if he was or not, because I know he's in like
Dean
Terminator
Norris?
2. Yeah, I know he's in like
I was about to say he was in T2. I don't know if he was actually in law enforcement though.
Okay, I was wondering about that because I had always heard that in T2 they got an actual SWAT team, and then he's part of the SWAT team. So it's like, is he like one of these like
He's the leader.
Jocko? Yeah, is he like one of these like Jocko Willnick? Like he was a badass and now he's an actor and does like consultations and shit. But yeah, I actually really like him a lot, and I wish someone would shoot his wife in the back of the head because I can't fucking stand her, dude. I was like immediately I was
about to say Marie. What do you think about Marie?
Jesus fucking Christ, man. I can't. We all know somebody like this, okay?
Yeah. 100%.
And do me a favor,
and that's
listening.
That's why the show's so good, because we know these people, right? They're so fucking like, we just want to strangle her. Yeah, keep going. I want to hear this.
No, we all know people like this, and when it comes to it, don't let them be these people. Fucking say something. Like say something, be like, you're kind of a dick. And it's like, I just think that sometimes these people don't realize exactly, and I've been guilty of this before too. These people don't realize what they're saying is not being interpreted as how they're saying it. I think that maybe they mean well, but she's very cynical. She's very like, oh, well, you're doing short stories. The last ones really didn't sell, and it's like, dude, there's a way to word that. Like, okay, cool. Like, I mean, that's awesome. Like, are you, there's, I don't know. There's certain ways to word shit, and these people do not know. And the whole time she just looks like she hasn't been fucked in years. She's just got this look on her face. Like she looks like she's the one with cancer, like Hank, She looks so sad.
Weird because like Hank looks like someone who'd want to fuck constantly.
Yeah, well, maybe it's over fucking. Maybe that's what we're missing here. Maybe she's just like, she's like, listen, I can't walk straight anymore. You got to give me a day off, dude. You got to give me a day off. Hey, this is Patreon. It's gonna get fucking raw.
It's gonna get weird. It's gonna get weird. Well, I mean, like, look, Hank's gut might get in the way, so I don't know, man. He's got a bit of a gut. But anyway,
that.
Man. hey, I got a fucking gut, dude. You're seeing it right now. Just quickly, dude. Like, okay, no, you know what? Not just quickly. I want to get your reaction on this, because there is a sequence here that happens, and I didn't really notice it for the first time. So they're watching the TV. Like Walt's, already handled the gun very awkwardly, by the way, right? Like it already tells us that he's so out of his element, And it's just kind of like uncomfortable when like, Walter Jr. is like, Dad, feel the gun. Like, like you kind of like get the sense of like who Walter Jr. respects and stuff like that.
Right. So, yes, very much so.
But that's not what I want to hint on, like what I want to touch on. The interesting thing is Walt has not had his cancer diagnosis, but he's super interested in the meth lab bust when he's like, how much money is that? So
good point. I didn't catch that.
Throughout the show, and this is not a spoiler, Walt will say, I'm doing this, to provide for my family, like when I die.
Sure.
So it's kind of like saying, is this curiosity, this criminal curiosity inside Walt the entire time, and the cancer is just the kind of like spark to actually feel that?
Yeah, no, I think that's a very fair question. Is like, was it there all along, but it just needed permission? Does it need something to nudge it in the? It's like, yes, I think that from what I'm guessing, it's like, yes, there is a need to. I think being emasculated so much, he's kind of got this need to be this bad. I want to take control, but also at the same time doesn't want to put his family at harm's way. Oh, this whole thing is for his family. This whole thing is to have money for his family when all this is over with. I think that's the number one concern. But I also think it's a double-sided thing where it's like, and I get to unleash this thing that I've had pent up for years, being shit on by fucking kids, even if she were not pregnant, he's working that second job. Let me tell you about it, because a teacher's salary ain't shit. Especially I think in New Mexico, I think they were like one of the lowest paid teachers, because I was reading about that shit one day. But they would. It's spectacularly shitty, just because again, he gets dumped on so much. Even if there weren't this like criminal thing in him, you could see it wanting to come to the surface because he's been emasculated for so long.
Yeah, like that's a good point, man. Like I didn't really pick up on that because like I don't know why. Like I that should have stuck out to me, dude. Like the whole like, holy shit, he hasn't even been diagnosed yet here he is taking a keen interest in criminal activities. You know, it's kind of like looking like right at you in the face. But boom, right? Collapse, cancer diagnosis. Love him focusing on the mustard stain on the doctor as he gives the diagnosis.
I thought
Like,
you were
it's
going to
kind of
say,
like-
love him focusing on the girl in the green dress. I'm like, yes, me as well.
Me too.
Yeah. No, yeah, I love that. He's like, I'm sorry. On your coat, you have a mustard. And you can see the doctor is like not looking at it. He's like, what? You can see him.
Well,
like,
I mean, I was about to say, like, how many of us, like, when we're confronted with, like, tragic news, like Walt, find ourselves focused on, like, random, like, illogical things that are just so, like, mundane? Like, how many times have you heard someone say, oh, it just hit me? Like, you know, the gravity of what I just experienced just hit me, like much, much later.
Right. Well, I think people in their private moments, you know, it's not something that you have publicly and with your family and stuff. It's like, no, that's one of those things where, like, you sit in the car for 4 or 5 hours and don't come home and let it sink in first kind of shit.
Right, exactly. Walt doesn't tell Skylar when he gets home, right? She harasses him about the MasterCard being the one that they don't use. Oh, she's such, like, when I first saw this, dude, like, you gotta, like, okay, it's 2000 and I think I started this 2011. So I am 20, I can't remember. I'm 20, no, I think I'm 18, 19.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, dude, I fucking hate Skylar at 19 years old. Like, I hate you so much.
Well, yeah, I mean, immediately he comes in the door and she's not like, oh, hey, she literally just goes, how was your day? He's like, oh, it's fine. Well, yeah, did you use the MasterCard? No, actually, she starts with the MasterCard shit first. And it's like, dude, chill the fuck out. It's $15.88.
Yeah.
Like, calm the fuck down, man. Like, I get it. You guys are on a tight budget and shit, but like, here's the $15. Fuck off. Like, goddamn. I don't know. It blew my mind. That's your first thing coming in the door. Be like, did you use this card? Like, oh, well, fuck me. I had a good day too. By the way, I have cancer, you cunt.
Well, but it's also like audience perspective, right? Like, I mean, like, we just found out in the scene before this that Walt has cancer. So we feel so sorry for him that it's kind of like a loaded sort of like scene where Skylar doesn't know and she just immediately starts, you know, like with the MasterCard shit. So like we kind of like have the information that she doesn't have, which kind of like
Right.
makes us react to Skylar that way. Walt quits the car wash in the most hilarious fashion.
That's why I was kind of quiet there for a second, because I was like, fuck you, Bogdan, and your eyebrows.
Dude, like, seriously, I said, fuck you and your eyebrows. Wipe down this. And he grabs his crotch.
It's awesome.
So good, dude. Like, so good. At home, he's lighting the matches and throwing them into the pool, like reflecting. And he takes Hank up on the offer for the ride-along, right? At the ride-along, we meet Jesse Pinkman for the first time, tumbling ass first out of a second-story window after dipping his wick in a big-titted blonde. Walt recognizes him as Jesse.
I also love how much, I mean, Bryan Cranston really kind of looks like Stan Lee with like the mustache and the glasses. Like, he really kind of does. And more so when he looks like if Michael Fassbender and Stan Lee had a baby. That's like all I can think of, because he's got a similar shaped head to Michael Fassbender, but he's got the stereotypical glasses and mustache kind of look from Stan Lee. But let me tell you, this is almost exactly how my dad looked. This is the look my dad rocked for like years. He always had the like similar glasses to that, a little bit different, and then a mustache, and then he had like the same hair, like kind of pushed back, like almost slicked back. I was like, oh my god, like
the same body frame as well, or
no, my dad was like short and stout, like he was kind of more of a Hank, you know. He like put Walter's head on Hank's body, and you're like, okay, yeah, that's my dad. But he looked very much so like that, like the mustache and the glasses and. Yeah, all of that shit. You know, but my dad had a much more robust mustache than Walter. Walter White's mustache is like, just shave that shit or grow it the fuck out, dude. Like, I can see your lip through the mustache.
Are you Chinese? Are you a Chinese man?
Yeah, it looks terrible, dude. It's so wispy.
Just quickly, that graphic designer that I know we both follow on Instagram, Boss Logic, he did like a mock-up like poster of like a fictional Stan Lee biopic.
Yeah.
And it was Bryan Cranston as Stan Lee, which is pretty awesome, dude. I see it too. But yeah, so Jesse Pinkman, right? Walt recognizes him as Jesse makes a break for it with his car, right? Captain Cook.
That is amazing, dude. When he said Captain Cook, I laughed out loud. I was like, that is fucking awesome.
Well, yeah, what do you think about the first introduction of Jesse? Jesse also is another MVP of mine. Again, when I was younger, I really didn't appreciate Aaron Paul in this role as much as I should have. Like, you know, on my subsequent viewings, I honestly think that Aaron Paul is putting as much, if not a little bit more, into his role than Bryan Cranston is as Walter White. I know might be a controversial statement.
I think just based on the first episode, I disagree. But I only disagree because we obviously are a lot more invested in, a chemistry teacher with cancer who works 2 jobs to support, a disabled son and a pregnant wife, right, versus just this kind of fuck ass of a dude who just cooks meth and actually does meth, like actually smokes the shit. I think that it's also just their priorities. I think that that's kind of the thing for me, is that I'm obviously more interested in Walter than I am Jesse, because A, I don't know anything about Jesse, but B, it's really Walter who's like our center point. So I think maybe as episodes go on, I might change how I feel, but I disagree only in the fact that Jesse's just kind of like doing this for fun and he's making money. That's it. Walter's like, this is a necessity,
Well, I definitely, yeah, like now, like in hindsight, as you say that, I know I'm definitely kind of like unintentionally bringing my knowledge of the rest of the show into it. So like that's probably going to happen. So excuse me for that.
No, but I know certain things. I know that he grows. Right. I know that Jesse grows as a character. So,
by the way, we meet Gomez, right? Steve Gomez, that's Hank's partner.
Oh yeah, they're betting on if he's Mexican or not. Dude, that's fucked up, like, dude.
Fucking Hank is like, no, he's a beaner. Like, dude, beaner?
Well, plus it's like, dude, Lopez, like, dude, that's fucked up. Betting on your own like people and shit, dude, that's fucked up.
Importantly, Gomez, I'm gonna call him Gomi because Hank always calls him Gomi. So I'm gonna.
Oh, I thought it was Lopez. My bad. I said Lopez.
No, it's Gomez. I'm gonna keep calling him Gomi because Hank always keeps calling him Gomi. Gomi and Hank are talking about Captain Cook and his signature, the chili powder. Hank waits. Dude, how smart is Hank, and like how good of a cop is he for him to wait for the bus to pass? Like he timed the raid out for the school bus to pass, and then he orders the raid to go ahead. Good stuff, dude.
If only if cops in real life were so cautious.
Yikes!
That is a sign of that is a tactically aware, situationally aware person who's like, oh, okay, like, let's minimize collateral damage. Yes, yeah. I love that. That's a sign of a smart person.
100%. Well, look, hopefully by the time this episode comes, I hope that by the time this episode comes out, that joke will be for like, it won't apply, but I know it will. Like, I know it will, dude. Yeah. Can you imagine if everything gets fixed by the time this fucking episode comes out? That'll be a fucking miracle.
Yeah, right.
Right. They arrest this guy, Emilio, right? Asian. Like, they start fighting over each other.
It's so fucked up, dude.
God damn it. Walt's interested in going inside and seeing the actual lab, right? Pretty good stuff. And Walt pays a visit to Jesse. Literally, like, the next scene is him paying a visit to Jesse at his house.
Yeah, that's what I don't get. The criticism of that stuff is not happening. Like, maybe we don't get Walter's mother who doesn't approve of the fact that he never used, and now he's a teacher. And it's like, dude, we get enough. We get enough for a fucking pilot episode. And it's like, and I know that stuff will kind of build up in the first season, but it's kind of from what I understand, it's a bit of a slow burner. But if this first episode is any indication, if every episode is this slow, I'm fine with that because I know where it's going. I know it's going to rev up to some crazy shit, but I'm fine with this kind of slow burn. It's not, it feels like real life. Real life isn't a fucking action movie,
I 100% agree, man. Like this series has 62 episodes to breathe and to build its characters. And that's honestly the strongest point of this show. It's the characters. And like, I'm not going to sit here and say that every episode of this show is perfect because it's not, right? Like, there's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be some episodes that are better than others. I chose this show because it's one of my favorites of all time. And I think, honestly, there's just so much meat to chew on here in terms of, like, interpretation, in terms of, like, character development, like, podcasting-wise, there's just so much to talk about. So I think, like, I wouldn't cover a show like Prison Break, right? Like, where the characters are kind of like, somewhat two-dimensional. The situations are two-dimensional. There's not much room for interpretation or ambiguity or anything like that. Whereas, like, Breaking Bad, there's just so much room here, like, to talk about. But yeah, you're 100% on the money, dude. Like, it is a slow burn, but it ramps up, and when it kicks off hard. But yeah, so Walt found Jesse's place through the school's filing system, right? This is Jesse's aunt's place, but Jesse is adamant that he owns it. I love how like Walt is like short speech.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that.
He convinces that because Emilio is going to prison, he convinces Jesse that because Emilio is going to prison and the DEA took all of his money and lab, and because Jesse knows the business and Walt knows the chemistry, I'm thinking maybe you and I could partner up. Boom.
Nice. Yeah.
There we
I
have
dig it. It's and the thing is, even though they're not like buddies right away, but by the time he's like leaving the credit union, there is a bit of like camaraderie. There's a little bit of like, I don't know. He straight up tells him, he's like, if you don't do this, I'll rat you out. And it's like, fuck, man, that is brutal.
That's what I wanted to get to. That's what I wanted to get to.
Go for it.
The ratting out. So the ratting out, the fact that their relationship starts off with a kind of like a blackmail situation should tell you about the future of their relationship, right? Like the fact that it started off with like a whole, like, I'm going to strong arm you into working with me should tell you or give you an idea as to how this relationship is going to play out.
Right. I think that the only other way it plays out is if Walter's like, if he doesn't blackmail him, that Walter's like, let me show you what I can do. And then he cooks something and Jesse's like, okay, I've got to do this. That's the only other way I see it working, is basically him either forcing him to do it or proving himself. That's the only way this works. And we don't have time to sit here and watch him, be like, come on, give me a chance, Jesse. I can do it. He's like, no, fuck you, dude. I'll rat your ass out. Like, you're a piece of shit. I don't give a fuck.
Well, Walt had that option. Like, he could have done that for sure, 100%. Like, he's got that option. But like, again, like, it's kind of like, it's his criminality creeping out and like his wantingness to be a fucking badass that he decides to strong arm Walt.
There's no time. There's no time to, like, he's like, dude, I have with chemo a couple years left. It's like, I don't have time. I don't have time to sit here and waste, like, I know what I can do. You just need to shut the fuck up and listen to me. And I'm like, cool, I like that, man. I really dig it.
Right. Well, we know Walt to be a very smart guy, right? Like, we know that he contributed to a Nobel Prize. So, and he's a chemistry teacher. And dude, like, there's not much kind of like morality, thoughtfulness that goes into the whole, I'm cool with cooking meth. Like, I'm cool with like adding to the meth trade. Like, he knows full well what goes into meth and the consequences of methamphetamine use. Like, but he chooses to do it anyway. What is your take on that?
If he's not doing it, somebody else is going to do it. I don't really give a shit. Cook away, dude. Fucking go ahead, Iron Chef. Like, go for it.
Go ahead, Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah, personally, I don't care. I think that there's always, I don't know. I think that there's when there's demand, there's always going to be supply. And if it's not Walter, it's somebody else. And actually, the thing is, I think it's almost better for Walter to be the one doing it because he's doing it properly. He's doing it in a clean environment. He's not doing it himself. It's like, or he's not, smoking it himself. So I think there's something interesting in that where it's like, if you have to do it, he is doing it from a professional, air quote, like kind of way. As professional as you can do without literally having like, if he could go and get a business license for this shit, he would turn around and like insure his shit and like get a business license and stuff. I kind of dig it. I think he's cool. I think he's fine with doing it.
That's a good take. I like that take. Honestly, I had not considered that and I love that.
You ever smoked crystal meth?
No.
Shit's crazy, dude. No, I'm just kidding. I've done some crazy shit, but
right now.
Yeah, I've done some crazy shit, but I've never smoked crystal meth. So,
ladies and gentlemen, if you join our third tier of Patreon, we will send you some crystal meth.
We will send you a hit of crystal meth. That's like Doug Stanhope is actually he's a great comedian, but he lives in Bixby, Arizona, which is really close to this. And he was talking about like the drug trade and seeing people run across the desert like with their jeans wrapped around their head because they just jumped the wall and they're fucking like, dehydrated and shit. And people running through the desert like, cooking meth and shit. And Doug Stanhope was like, you know what? Yeah, I'm not saying I would never do like crystal meth or heroin. I'm just saying I'm going to save it for last, when I'm like 80 years old. And I was like, that's fucking hilarious, man. But this whole episode made me think of Doug Stanhope in like Bisbee, Arizona. And I've always wanted to go and visit out there. I've got friends. And actually I've got to shout out my buddy who will probably never sign up for our Patreon and never listen to this, but his name is Drew Stout. And we lived actually in a house together for a few years, me and him and a buddy. And he was obsessed with the show, loved it, tried to get me to watch it. I just wasn't big on TV. But he absolutely loved the show, and he lives out in Arizona now. And he was like, man, this just reminds me so much of home, of like the desert and shit like that. I was like, that's cool. So watching this, it's impossible to not think of Drew Stout.
Well, man, I mean, like, I've always wanted to kind of like visit that part of the States. Like, I've always stuck to the coastline, and like next time I'm just gonna pull the finger out of my ass and be like, you know what, grow some balls, get to middle America where they're not going to accept me, and I'll be right, I'll be fine.
There's a joke in there about you coming out of the desert and now going back to the desert, but I can't. It's early and I'm grasping at straws here.
Woo! We're wild over here in Patreon. Walt stealing supplies from the school, right?
Like, they would not notice, dude. But they would notice if you fucking stole a pencil from that place. Like, there would be a budget. And just my significant other is a teacher, so like, there's part of this show that I'm very invested in now, and that's part of it is like watching shit from a teacher's point of view, and like. Bob's Burgers has a great joke, actually. It makes me think of this, where they're like, the teachers get off at 3:00 and they have to be at their second jobs by 4. And I was like, yes, like literally, like that, like, especially I looked it up, New Mexico, those teachers don't make shit, dude. They're one of the lowest paid. It's fucking terrible.
So do you think like that this is like a loose end? Do you think this is going to go anywhere else? Like him stealing the supplies from the school?
Oh, maybe. It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, he stole a lot of shit. It's like, it wouldn't surprise me at all. Right. My thing is, I would have just trashed the place, knocked over and broken all the glass, and be like, oh, somebody broke in here.
It was a break-in.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, it's glass, just say, oh, well, I guess it's in here somewhere. It's broken, though. Well, I don't know.
Well, that would have been the smarter idea. But like, as we come to find out, Walt, like, when it comes to some aspects of criminality, Walt is not very well versed in some stuff, dude. Like, Walt is pretty, like, he thinks very basically when it comes to kind of like the criminal element stuff. Like, I mean, like, he didn't even know how to hold a gun, dude. Like,
Right,
like
yeah.
At the end of the episode, he tries to shoot himself, but he's got the safety on.
That's like horribly dark and funny, and we can definitely get into that, but it's like, oh my God, dude. You like want to laugh, but you kind of want to cry at the same time.
Exactly. He takes the paraphernalia to Jesse's place, where Jesse's just kicking back, sucking down a few beers. You've got your usual paraphernalia, but the pièce de résistance, a round bottom boiling flask, 5,000 milliliters. And Jesse's like, I cook in the volumetric flask. He's like, I just cook in that. And he's like, did you learn nothing from my chemistry class? Like,
you
already
failed me.
right. He's like, you failed me, dick. Like, we already see that, like, 5 minutes in, their partnership's like strained.
Well, and it's a great. It makes me think of Master Blaster from Thunderdome. Is that Jesse is Blaster, but Walter is definitely Master. It's like the brain and the body kind of thing. Like, you have the muscle to move the shit, but you have the brains behind it making it. I like that a lot. And the thing is, Jesse might be able to learn how to cook like Walter. He might eventually be able to figure that out. But Walter is kind of already 50% up and becoming like what Jesse is. You could see him taking over Jesse versus Jesse taking over Walter,
I see it. I like that it's like one, like at the moment, it's like one hand washes the other kind of thing, for sure.
Exactly.
Walt says he's going to cook some premium product. It's not going to be like anything out there that's on the street. He's got aspirations, right? He's got ambition. Like, he's talking like he was in the chemistry room, right? In the classroom. Like, he's got life to him as he talks. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I like it.
Emergency eye wash station. I fucking love all of this, dude. Dude, Jesse drops the F-bomb, the one that we're not allowed to use. Do you notice?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, dude, that kind of character, that is very much so in line with that kind of character. Like,
I see it.
Yeah.
Especially 2008. I feel like 2008 is a little bit more acceptable. Well, not, not acceptable, but,
No, at the time it was. At the time, it definitely, and that was a problem, is that, me and my friends said that all the time. And it's like, man, not until, circumspeculation can you be like, yeah, I guess, that's just not a word that is said while people are being killed for what they are is not something you should say, even if it's like not as bad as some other word. Oh man, it's not as bad as like the N word or what. It doesn't matter, dude. It's like, it does not fucking matter anymore. It's like, just stop saying it. But you can definitely see Jesse is the type of guy to say this. He definitely is.
Oh, totally. Like, it reminds me a lot of, remember Vince from Fast and Furious, right? We covered that not long ago. When he's like, bullshit asshole, nobody eats tuna here, nobody likes tuna here. Like, just before that, he's like, why don't you get a fat burger for $4.95? And then he drops the F-bomb. So it's like, very like-minded people.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just that mentality, like, especially coming from the South, where there's a lot of patriarchal type shit, like that's not uncommon at all. Like, for me to hear that on my day to day.
Right, there you go. They're not going to cook at Jesse's. I don't shit where I eat, says Jesse.
Smart. I like it.
100%, dude. Like, honestly, this is, like, Jesse is not intelligent by Walt standards, but he is smart. Like, he's street smart.
Exactly. Yeah, if you're selling weed, would you grow the weed in your basement and then turn around and sell it in the same house? No. Like, you would sell it somewhere else, live somewhere else, grow it somewhere else,
Exactly. You separate everything.
Right.
Jesse suggests getting an RV, which is super clever, dude. Like a mobile meth lab. He's like, drive it way out in the boonies, be all evasive. And I could not for the life of me believe that was Jesse's idea. Like, that is just such a smart, very simple solution.
Yeah, it's the same thing for, doing something where you need to keep if you stay in one spot long enough, people ask questions, kind of thing. It's like the people who are like serial killers that do their shit in RVs and stuff like that. It's like, dude, that absolutely makes sense. That's why the big white serial killer van is like a joke now. And, American culture is just like, oh, it's a big white van with free candy on it. 'Cause it's like an open space with wheels on it, basically.
The panel van. Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. And boom, hard cut to Walt withdrawing $7,000, but Jesse's guy wants $85,000. Also, I just want to like spend a little bit of time talking about Dave Porter with the music in this entire show. From start to finish, he's in charge of the music, even in Better Call Saul. The music in this show is just so unique, and it's just absolutely, it's indescribable, because I can't picture this show without this music. There's very like percussive, acoustic guitar, drums, like very simple drums kind of like setup that he's got. So it really adds quite a bit. What do you think of the music?
I like it. It kind of reminds me of like Beck, Loser, like that being down, like that kind of, twangy guitar, the Dust Bowl in the 20s and Our Family is Starving, like kind of shit. Like that's all I could kind of think of. And also, I mean, a lesser version of this is like the whatever that fucking Bon Jovi song is they use for Hell on Wheels, where they're building the AMC show. I can't remember what the fuck it is. Yeah. I honestly, I fucking hate Bon Jovi. But
what? Come on, dude. Living on a prayer. Come on, dude.
Oh,
come on,
God.
It's I'd
like
classic.
The woo. I like the talk box thing. Other than that, I fucking hate Bon Jovi. I can't listen to that.
Johnny
shit,
used to work on the docks.
I fucking hate it. Leave Johnny alone and let him get back to work. You talentless fuck. Bon Jovi's not a bad band. They just didn't deserve to be as big as they got. It's like, that's ridiculous, man. But no, I love, because he. It's my life and it's now or never.
Shit. This is what you pay for, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, exactly. So who is it? Mike Porter, right? He's the one who does the music. Mike Porter. Dave Porter. I'm thinking of Mike Portnoy from Dream Theater. He's an amazing drummer.
Nice.
Dave Porter, he also does El Camino, too. I was just kind of reading through his filmography because I was like, Dave Porter. Like, I feel like I know that name, but he's done, this, Better Call Saul, all of that shit. And the music just absolutely brings up the imagery of, dry, desert, sun, hot. Like, it just immediately, it just sounds like a cactus, like
yes.
Yes, that's exactly what it makes you think of.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, absolutely. That's 100%. Dude, one of my favorite moments in the entire episode here, I am awake.
Oh, yeah. I love that, dude. Because you can tell, I felt like he was getting close to being like, I have cancer. And he's just like, nope, I'm this is who I am now. Like, I was just waiting for an excuse to let this shit rip, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's just such a great line, like considering the first 20 minutes, like where he's just kind of like sleepwalking through life. Like, he's like, oh, it's my birthday party. Yay. Like, it's just like
Right.
just such a fantastic moment. And then we get to the department store scene, right? Like, I love how Skylar, just like after a bit of delay with Walt Jr. in the change room, do you want me or your dad? Like, what a sad moment, dude. Poor Walter Jr.
There is a big difference between, I want to point out a scene earlier when they get to school and Walter Jr. is getting out of the car and Walt's just like, you got it? And he's like, yeah, okay, cool, see you later, and walks off and leaves. He's like, I'm not going to fucking baby you. Like, you need to be able to do this on your own. And you get the sense that Walt Jr. wants to do it on his own versus Skylar's like, are you okay? Do you want one of us to come in there? And he's like, dude, I understand the dude probably needs help. I get that, but like, don't baby him. Just be like, hey, you cool? You good? It's like, don't talk to somebody like that, man. Like, I don't have a lot of friends with disabilities, but the ones that I have are like, dude, I hate it when someone treats me like that. I want them just to be like, hey, yeah, you good? Don't come up with kid gloves on. I'm not going to break. I love that. I that would be so frustrating to me.
Oh, absolutely, dude. I watched this movie not long ago, actually. It was a Shia LaBeouf movie. It came out pretty recently. It's called Peanut Butter Falcon. And basically the lead of that movie is a Down syndrome character played by a Down syndrome actor. And, he comes across Shia LaBeouf's character, and, Shia LaBeouf's character never, like, babies him. Like, he kind of, like, treats him like any other human being on the planet. And, honestly, that just puts a smile on my face. Like, I don't...
Right.
Just recognize him, dude. Just fucking recognize him.
Right. I understand that there's things that this person can't do that you can do, and if they need help them, but don't act like... you're walking around with a, you're walking on eggshells around somebody,
Absolutely. Walt beats the brakes off this bully that's mocking Walter Jr. We see a glimpse of the man that Walt is on the inside, quick to violence and brutality.
Skylar is dripping wet, dude.
Dripping.
She is drowning, dude. She is literally drowning. No, I like, you can see the look in her, just like, what the fuck? And at first, I really wanted that kid just to haul off and punch Walter in the face and him be like, oh shit. Like, I'm kind of like, I really thought it was going to go the route of like Walter thinking he's this big badass now because he sells meth. He's like, yeah, but you still can't win a fight. Like, you're still going to get, I wish the kid had kind of punched him in the face and him be like, oh, yeah, I guess if you're going to start shit, be prepared to take shit. But I like that they just kind of walked off. I think the guy is just so like, oh, yeah, fucking whatever. And then when Walter looks at him like, I will skull fuck you and eat your tongue. And he's like, oh, God. Like, you can see him kind of like, that is like, there's a difference between someone who's just like super pissed off, but this guy looks like he is like crazy pissed off, Well,
that's again, something that I wanted to touch on, because we see Walt's true colors. Like, he's willing to hurt other people for his own ego and gratification. Like, sure that, he can kind of convince himself that it's for his family. Like, in this case, Walter Jr., like, he's standing up for his son. But really, he's just kind of like stomping on another human being to feed his desire for power, dude. Like, he's kind of like, you know what? Like, I'm going through a fucking metamorphosis and I'm feeding my own ego. And, much like the rest of the show, he's going to continue to try and convince himself that everything he's doing is for his family, and that's just not the case.
Right. It's maybe it starts with that, but it becomes a secondary, a secondary notion later on when, when it's not the priority anymore,
Right. We're out in the desert now with the RV. The desert setting is kind of interesting, actually. Like, it's so removed from everything, like exactly how Walt would want it. Like, he wants his criminal acts so far removed from everything he knows. Right, like it's pretty, like the setting itself is just, and by the way, man, the cinematography, every time we see the RV out there in the desert and it's by itself with the fucking smoke coming through the roof, dude, just looks so good. Like, desert just films so well.
Yeah, it does.
Cow house, God help me. Walt strips, can't go home smelling like a meth lab, and it's quite clearly quite different worlds colliding right here, right? Like, as like Walt, strips down into his clothes and Jesse's like, what the fuck are you doing, dude?
Yeah.
This is a low-level street criminal versus someone who has the potential to be the head of an empire, right? And then we get the meth montage.
Why are you filming this? Why? That is like that again, low level to someone who could be professional. It's like, I want no trace of this on my clothes. It's like, I'm gonna videotape and put it on Snapchat. Yeah,
Right.
like, what a fucking idiot, dude. This is the guy who puts all of his shit on TikTok, and when the cops show up, it's just like, oh, here it is. You know, what a fucking moron,
Here's
man.
the video evidence, dude. Interestingly, throughout the montage, we see just how keen Jesse is to learn about the process, but like, you know, he's still like spilling shit, so he doesn't really have the ability. So it's interesting. And Walt has made pure glass. He says, "This is art, Mr. White." Interestingly, Jesse wants to try the meth, and they get into a little bit of an argument, right? Walt says, we only sell it if we only sell it, we don't use it.
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen, man. I'm sorry. Like,
that ain't gonna fly.
Because he kind of caves on that, and Jesse's like, dude, no, I'm gonna use this. And he's like, okay, well, whatever. You know, it's like, I get it, though. He's like, dude, I use this shit, like, actively. Like, fuck you.
Yeah. We meet Crazy 8, who's making his attack dog rip a dummy to bits. Did you catch the painting on the wall at Crazy 8's house?
Is that like the naked chick on the bike?
Yeah, it's like a big tit anime girl on a Harley.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me, man.
Well, honestly, man, if you're a fucking big time drug dealer, you'd buy fucking random shit too, to be honest.
Yeah, well, that's what cracks me up is he has like a dummy with like the X like bandolier like across his chest of like bullets and shit. And I was like, this guy's fucking weird, man.
Right. We find out that the guy who got arrested earlier, Emilio, is Crazy 8's cousin. Emilio told Crazy 8 that when the feds came, Jesse was fucking a chick, and that Emilio thinks that Jesse ratted to the feds. And boom, that fucking moment when Emilio comes down the stairs, dude. Like, he's already there.
It doesn't make any fucking sense for Jesse to rat himself out. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, I can understand if Jesse got pinched, but it's like, dude, he was not caught, and he didn't trade in the people that are above him. It's always a game of ascension of like, you got the guy who bought it. Who did you buy it from? And who did you buy it from? And who did you buy? It's always this infinite regress of like, where did you get it from? So it's like, it doesn't make sense for him. It's
such like bullshit, like low level drug dealer shit. Like, you know, like, I'm going to tell my higher up this story, this web of lies, and I'm not going to like consider like any roadblocks to it. I'm just going to tell him, like, you know, like just to get the other guy in trouble.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Amelia comes down the stairs. Dude, this is the toughest looking Asian dude I've ever seen.
Yeah. Yeah. No, like there's something. So this is the guy who gets popped earlier. I guess the courts are out if he's actually like Hispanic or Asian, but like, yeah, he looks. There's something about the way, like, go ahead, Bendejo, kick my ass, and it's like,
yeah,
that's
what?
I don't know. There's something funny about looking, because if you put a gun to my head, I would say that guy's probably like Filipino. You know, that'd be the first thing that I thought. So it was really weird when I actually got a good look at him. This Filipino looking dude be like, "What's up, Bendejo?" And they're like, "What? Wait a minute." Like this does not compute.
I want this guy to walk into Patty's bar and just say that in front of like Charlie, Mac, and Dennis from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and like just try and see them react to like what he is, because I know they're going to be like bickering between each other. They're like, no, where are you from?
I don't think you should be saying that.
Oh shit. But yeah, they force Jesse to take him back to the cook site, and they rock up in this bright yellow piece of shit, right?
God.
So bad.
Drug dealers have such bad taste sometimes, man. Like, and this is what kills me. Out in the fucking desert in like hoodies and fucking like beanies on and full jackets. And I'm like, dude, it has got to be fucking hot as shit out there right now.
Right. Well, I mean, like, and this is something that I know you like, the clothing colors. Like, you should pay attention to the colors that everyone wears throughout the show, because it's pretty important. It's definitely something that Vince Gilligan thought of as the show goes on.
Okay, I'll check it out. Yeah, and I like how Bryan Cranston looks like a Starbucks barista. Like that green apron on and like nothing else.
A fucking boring color, yeah. Marie will pretty much always be in purple.
Oh, okay, yeah, Skylar's sister.
Yeah. Dude, Crazy 8 offers Walt a job, but Walt says he's only willing to sell if the price is right. And then the pants-shitting moment when Emilio recognizes Walt when he was in the ride-along with the DEA. This guy was in the DEA.
God, that's got to be terrifying, man.
Right. Shit just pops off, dude. But, like, how good is Walt under pressure, right? Like, at gunpoint, Like, he recognizes what Crazy 8 wants and uses it to his advantage. He says, I'll teach you my recipe. Like, at a dime, dude. Like, he's able to, like, manipulate Crazy 8 pretty much immediately.
Right. Well, and there's something like both of these guys are so fucking chest heavy. You know, they're kind of like they talk a lot of shit, but dude, it's so I don't know. Like I feel like these guys as well are fucking just like pushovers that would crumble the first toenail you pull out, they start screaming and giving up everything, and it's like they would withstand like no like torture or interrogation. You know, like these people would just rat everybody out like ASAP. Like the first jumper cable you hook up to his nuts, he's just gonna rat everybody out, and it's like, come on, dude, you gotta get that second one in, show him that you're a fucking man. No, I'm just kidding. But I immediately
wrap that fucking cord around my neck, and then maybe we'll talk.
Yeah, I immediately hate these guys because I mean they treat Walter like shit, even though and when Jesse shows up and he's like, tell me that ain't the best, whatever he calls the crystal meth. I can't remember what he's Skenta or something like that.
Scante.
Yeah, he's like, tell me that's not the best Skanta. He's like, it's pretty good, and it's like, dude, you can tell in his face, his brain is just like, like he's fucking losing his mind over there. But
he's
I don't know. I just
Ron Swanson meme where he's like fucking dancing around.
Yeah, exactly. But I immediately am just like, dude, fuck these guys. And when he like brutally murders them, I was like, yes. Like I just loved it, dude. I felt so good about that.
Right. I mean, this is what we're talking about, right? Like Walt creates the phosphine gas. Love the shot of Walt on the other side of the door of the RV as the bullets just fucking rocket past him through the door, dude.
Oh. The hand on the glass, and you're like,
yes.
Like, oh, that's fucking brutal.
Some horror movie shit. That's some mist shit, dude.
Well, plus, I mean, the funny thing is, here are these guys who do this shit for a quote unquote living. And then this guy who actually knows the science, like I know of multiple times in the show, he uses the science like against people. And I'm like, that is so fucking smart, man. Where you're like, you're ingesting chemicals. And I love that. The fact that he can like, oh, I'll use that to my advantage because these people don't know what the fuck they're doing. I was like, that is awesome. I love that.
Well, all these guys are aware of, dude. They're like, all right, we have the guns, we have the power. That's what they think the situation is, right? We have the guns,
muscle.
We have the bullets, we have the power. Right, exactly. All this guy's got is powder, right? Like
red phosphorus. Yeah, that's it.
Right, exactly. That's not going to do shit. But hey, lo and behold. Shit kicks off. There's a fire, and dude, as he's like walking to the fire, like the brush that's on fire, his back is just sweating. I can smell the sweat off Bryan Cranston's back.
Ooh, dude, again, I mean, it's probably 90 degrees out there. He's basically naked. There's fucking fire right behind him. Like, dude, he's got to be so uncomfortable, man. Like, oh,
but
like that's got to be
elements
awful.
of this show that just feel so like tactile, like so real. Like, you know, like I feel like I can smell it in my living room. Like, you know?
Right, exactly. Dude, because what does he make to kill them? Is it mustard gas? Is that what it is?
It's phosphine gas. So I'll get
phosphine
into
gas.
Yeah, I'll get into the difference between mustard gas and phosphine gas. That's a whole thing that I got planned for you. Don't worry.
Oh, okay, good.
He collects Jesse, puts a gas mask on both of them, and we're caught up to the opening again, right? Walt's in a standoff, pointing the gun directly at who he thinks is the police and what's going to be suicide by cop. Interestingly, tries to shoot himself under his jaw, but the safety's on, right?
And you got to put it into the roof of your mouth. You can't go under the jaw, dude.
Yeah, you can't go. You're just going to get a hole. You're just going to get a hole under your fucking mouth.
You just blow the bottom of your jaw off. Looks like that clown from American Horror Story.
Well, I mean, like, it also just tells us how much he's not really cut out for this world, right?
Right. Well, and my question is, like, as the guys drive past him, like the firefighters and shit, how are they not like, the fuck? Like, you can tell the one dude on the the one dude on the back is like, huh? And it's mind blowing because like here's this fire less than a mile away from where these guys are, and there's a man with no pants on with a gun in his hand, and it's like, well, these two matters are totally unrelated. It's like that is insane to me.
Walt is literally laundering his money before he lies down into bed next to a very worried Skylar, who asks where he was, right? Firstly, the literal, like, laundering of the money. Pretty clever. Pretty clever, Gilligan. I see her. And then we get the strained married becoming even more strained. She doesn't want to be left in the dark.
And he doesn't leave her in the dark. Gives her that dick.
They have some very passionate sex, right? Very, very different to what we saw in the opening. Oh, Walt is that you? She says.
Yeah.
But you know what, dude? I like it because it's not just a dick joke. Like, she's literally having trouble recognizing her husband.
Right. Well, yeah, and it's a very thinly veiled like analogy, for that. But at the same time, I love it because it's just watching him get emasculated, and then when she's kind of giving him like the laziest hand job I've ever seen in my life, he's not, he can't even, he's like, I don't even care, like, can't even get it out. And then at the end, he could like fucking shatter mountains, dude. It's like, oh my God, like that is fucking awesome, dude. I love that.
Right,
the confidence,
totally.
the self-confidence,
Totally. And that's the pilot, dude. That's the pilot of Breaking Bad. Congratulations, Colin. You made it.
I did.
Let me hit you with a little bit of trivia. This is the difference between mustard gas and phosphine gas. Bear with me a little bit because this is about a page long and all of it is actually kind of interesting, so I'm just going to read it out for you. Both of these gases are best avoided, to be sure, but there's a significant difference. According to the CDC, mustard gas, or more accurately, sulfur mustard, is a chemical warfare agent that was first used by the German Empire in September 1917 against the forces of Imperial Russia at Riga during World War I. Mustard gas is a virescent or blistering agent, which means it causes blistering both externally and internally on the skin, eyes, throat, esophagus, and lungs, with the blisters sometimes forming several hours after exposure to the gas. Mustard gas was not always lethal, depending on the dose or whether or not any gas had been inhaled. Victims often suffered agonizing pain from burns, blindness, and bleeding, both external and internal, and many who survived were disabled for the rest of their lives. Unlike chlorine, phosgene, or even tear gas masks did not protect the wearer from mustard gas, which could cause disabling chemical burns on any part of the soldier's exposed skin. Furthermore, mustard gas sank low and lingered for weeks, making occupation of trenches extremely dangerous for friend or foe alike. Mustard gas has no recognized medical use, and its use in combat is now a violation of the UN Chemical Weapons Convention. Phosphine gas is far more deadly than mustard gas. Everything I just read to you, dude. Everything I just read to you, phosphine gas is so much more deadly. According to the California Office of Environmental Health Hazard Assessment, phosphine gas is an unintended and potentially lethal, just ask Emilio, byproduct of meth manufacturing using the hydroic acid / red phosphorus method. Phosphine gas has no effect on the skin and causes only mild to moderate irritation to the eyes, but produces rapid and horrific effects if inhaled. Low-level, short-term exposure can cause coughing and severe lung irritation. Neurological effects include dizziness, convulsions, and coma. The results of long-term or high-level exposure to phosphine gas include pulmonary edema. This is all, by the way, something that can happen in a poorly ventilated RV.
Yeah.
Include pulmonary edema, convulsions, damage to the kidney, liver and heart, and death. Phosphine gas was also used during World War I, but unlike mustard gas, quick and proper use of gas masks provide an effective countermeasure. In non-gaseous forms, phosphine is used in the manufacture of semiconductors and compound conductors. Pellets containing phosphine that react with atmospheric water or rodent stomach acids are used for pest control, and phosphine gas is also used as an aerosol insecticide because it leaves no residue on the products it is applied to. Boom.
Goddamn.
Well, I mean, like, Walter knows definitely what he's doing, right? And you know what? That's a credit to the show as well. I'm not going to say that 100% of the chemistry is on point with Breaking Bad, because we will see some liberties that they take a bit later on to service the story. But, pretty much a lot of it is pretty spot on, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, no, that all sounds amazing and horrible at the same time. That all sounds like it's insane where even all of the world's nations got together and were like, yeah, nah, don't do that anymore. That sounds terrible.
Right, exactly. Well, man, that's the first episode of Bad Crystal. Wow, there it is. There we have it.
God, only 65 more of those to go. Fuck.
61 left.
No, it's also, I know this one ran, I mean, this one's going to be a little bit longer than the other ones because we're talking about the intro to the show and kind of where we're starting, and we're introducing you guys to the premise and stuff, letting you guys know about the Patreon. But I mean, this is going to be, if this is any indication, I think this is going to be a good first start. I think this is it's gonna get better as time goes on, and I'm super interested to see how I'm gonna react to Walter White, knowing what I know versus like it's kind of like, you kind of already, how do you feel about Walter White? And it's like, well, on what I know, I feel XYZ. And it's like, well, you might feel differently by the end of the show. And it's like, oh shit, like it's very titillating. It's very exciting to see exactly where all of this could go,
Absolutely, man. There's a lot of room for interpretation on this show, and that's what I love about the show, like I said. Now, before we do move on to closing out this episode, I've got a little bit of a game for you. So
Okay.
I'm going to give you some word association. I'm going to give you 4 things, and you're going to guess which of these is not a part of episode 2.
Okay.
I want you to use your logic, like use your deduction methods, kind of thing. Like see where these characters are at the end of this episode, and kind of like extrapolate it to see whether these things might fit or not in the next episode. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that'll work.
Could be good. All right. Here we go. Number 1, bike lock. Number 2.
Yay or nay? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Wait, hold on. Yeah, you can say yay or nay. All right. So which of these is not a part of episode 2? So bike lock, do you reckon that's a part of episode 2?
Sure, yeah.
All right. Number 2, marijuana. There's only 4, by the way.
Oh, yeah, marijuana is definitely going to be. It's in the first episode.
All right. Number 3, hydrofluoric acid.
If I had to guess, yeah.
Number 4, heroin.
That's a tricky one. Bike lock, yes.
By the
I'm
way,
gonna
I'm gonna give the answer on the end of the next episode. Sorry, at the start of the next episode.
I'm gonna say no to the marijuana.
Ooh, okay, interesting.
Because I'm like, we're talking about meth. Who's gonna spend the time to talk about marijuana?
I like that. I like that reasoning. All right, so you're locking in marijuana. All right, I'm gonna fucking highlight this shit so you don't change your answer on me.
Oh, here, I'm just gonna Google it real quick. No, I'm just gonna
just fucking ruin the entire premise of the show.
The only way the premise of the show could be better is if I was in 2008 and this were dropping new episodes on AMC and you were just like, just wait, bitch, just wait.
Oh, dude, I can't. Like, honestly, I'm one of those people who like to sit in a cinema next to someone, watching a movie for a second time that I've already seen, and they're watching it for the first time, and just kind of like looking at their face as they're watching it,
side-eyeing them. Yeah,
I'm one of those people, dude. I love it.
Me too.
But yeah, guys, thank you so much for tuning into the first episode of Bad Crystal. This has been great. This has been really fun. We can't wait to bring you more Bad Crystal. Thank you so much again for signing up for the Patreon. If you are not already aware, if you don't know, well, I really don't know how you found us. Maybe someone like referred you or something and you didn't listen to Midnight Double Feature. Midnight Double Feature, we're on Facebook, right? We have our main page, which is Midnight Double Feature. We have our Facebook group, The After Party. The After Party is not going anywhere. Like, that's completely not going anywhere. We're not going to put a paywall up behind the After Party. I love the fucking community, dude. No, that's not happening in a million years. And we have our Instagram, which is at Midnight Double Feature, and our Twitter, which is at MDF Pod. And you can always reach us at midnightdoublefeature@gmail.com. And at this point, our website is going to be live, right?
Yeah.
Which is pretty fucking exciting. I don't really know what our URL is going to be. Is it going to be www.midnightdoublefeature.com? I don't know. I'm going to reveal that a bit later.
I think it's going to be called www.skylarwhiteisacunt.com. I think that's what we all kind of agreed on at first.
Well, actually, I was going for www.skylarwhitegivetheworsthandjobs.com.
Oh, yeah. I think she has a website, www.unenthusiastichandjobs.com. That's the one I was thinking. Sorry, I got it confused.
That's the one. And our t-shirts are on sale. Just letting you guys know, go and buy our t-shirts, please. We would love it. I mean, we don't really make much off the t-shirts. It's just it's just our own little gratification. And please post your photos on the after party. We'd love to see you guys in it. And yeah, Collin, that's it. It's the end of the episode.
Hell yeah, man. That's been a blast. I'm glad we're finally able to talk about the website, the t-shirts, the Patreon, the Breaking Bad podcast. We've had just a lot of shit going on lately that we really wanted to share with everybody, but obviously we have to do that in a timely manner, and it wasn't the time or the place to just start dropping shit. We were like, let's wait, but now we've got a little bit more time on our hands. We've got a little bit more room to grow. We've had some excellent guest spots we're trying to nail down. Like we're really we're cooking, as you would say. We got a lot of shit on the burners. And we're, happy to have you guys along for the ride. Thank you so much for supporting us on Patreon. If you aren't, fuck you. No, I'm just kidding.
Stop. I definitely think it's fucking $3.
Right, exactly. It's the price of two double cheeseburgers from McDonald's. Like, come on, dude. And you get all this, fantastic bonus content. It's the greatest, gonna be the greatest of all time. I'm not going to be reelected. Yeah. I think that the bonus content that we're putting on, it's not just going to be the Breaking Bad stuff. We're going to have other episodes coming up. But this is kind of a jumping off point for us, just to kind of, you're getting up, we're like inceptioning, we're getting a podcast within a podcast kind of thing, podception. So we hope you guys enjoy it. Really, if you're listening to this and you haven't rated us on iTunes yet, what the fuck are you doing? Go over there and rate us, give us those 5 stars. And we love to hear constructive criticism from you guys. And we hope you guys really enjoy this episode. Zoe, you got anything else?
No, that's it, man. We've been trying to end the episode for like 8 minutes, but we just keep rambling because we keep finding new shit to talk about. So let's just end it, dude. We'll see you guys on the next episode of Bad Crystal.